Hello punters and welcome to another episode of Tipster. This is the August edition where we look at July. Mick Gannon, how are you?
Good mate, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good, can't complain. You can smell it in the air, it's there. We're August, missile stakes this weekend, getting the momentum coming into spring, got to be happy.
Yeah, it's all happening mate, can't wait. Spring is well and truly in the air, especially in Sydney. Temperatures up around 20 degrees, tracks playing like an absolute monorails, it's all happening.
I was actually going to say that Sunday was absolutely like a spring day.
Oh, beautiful.
Don't comment on green stuff and whatever, but look, we're just very, very happy to be ready for the season. And hey, Horse's birthday.
Yeah, giddy up.
That was great. Great to see. There was a lot going on in social media, which we'll touch on a bit later. Mick, I was thinking Horse's birthday. I was thinking Mick Gannon. You probably own half the country horses going around at the moment in New South Wales, don't you?
Sent a couple of birthday cakes away, and that was good. Good to see the horse's birthday.
Cost you a fortune.
Nah, Macca's cheap. Macca's cakes, mate. Nice and simple. Nice and simple.
All right. Well, hey, as always, we look at the tipsters, punters, media experts. They're all thrown into the bundle at thegreattipoff.com. Every tip, every day. We record them. You can come on there and try yourself against them, but we tell you who the best tipsters in Australia are. No one else is really qualified to do it, Mick.
I think that's about it, mate. We have been doing it for a long time, and it's a place to be. Make sure you go to the search bar. So that's the key. Go to the search bar, type in the tips you like. Damien DeGuara, and away you go. You'll see all the big results. Or Luke Hovannessian, perhaps. He's low flying.
He's low flying. But hey, I had a good month last month. Just didn't get up to that 40 new quota. But anyhow, we'll talk about that another time. New season coming in. We'll have a bit to say about that. But obviously, highlighting who the best tipsters were in July. Hang around for that.
Welcome back to Tipster. Here we are, Tipster of the month for July. And on top there, Damo Paul Kelly, to her door making gravy, not only one of the greatest artists in the country, but also tipping up a storm, mate. How good is that?
I think he's another Paul Kelly.
Oh, sorry.
But obviously, good job there. Did well.
Dominating proceedings.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In second, Ginger Wizard. Up you go, Ginger. Pro symbol.
Mate.
No shock there. 53% profit on turnover.
Just
How
wins.
good.
Just wins.
Yeah.
I noted this morning that he had another fill-up yesterday, I think it was.
Shocked me.
That would be on the 31st. So, and I looked at his stats on the site. Remember, best stats, you can see them on the site, all their stats. 8 months in a row. He has won 8 months in a row. And that's using starting prices.
Phenomenal
that's
stuff.
Just ridiculous.
Phenomenal stuff. Up you go, Ginge.
Yeah, betting at Pakenham.
Yep.
Just followed you.
That's the place to go. In third, Pepper the Pig, 21. Dominant.
Bit of a bob pig.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, mate.
That's all right, but, these names.
Well done, Pepper.
8.41 average price, 72 tips, 72 tips, $8.41 average price, 52% pot, 1 in 5 roughly. Winners, mate, you're going to the bank every time on those stats. That's sensational.
Absolutely. In fourth position there, Aaron Jess, 2018. Is that Jess, Aaron, or is it a combination of the two?
I don't know. It could be husband and wife combo.
Who cares? They're flying.
They're flying.
That's all that matters.
Fairly new, 4 months ago, hasn't lost a month.
Yep.
Flying. Going very, very well.
Super stuff. I'm making sure I check them out.
Sydney and Melbourne, Queensland form.
Outstanding. And Alabusi,
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah, New Zealand tipster. We've got a lot of New Zealand tipsters on the side.
Kiwis, Choice.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
So
I love the Kiwis, except for when we get beaten 100-0 in the rugby. Other than that, I love you.
Well, except for when they're coaching an Ashes English side too. Carry on. But anyway, we won't carry on with that. We love you, Kiwis. We love you. But yeah, look, another Ali Bussy has nailed it. $9.44 from 57 tips. Another huge effort.
I'm just blown away. Every month I look at this leaderboard and go, how are these guys doing this? It's phenomenal. So hats off. You've dominated July for 2023. Well done, guys.
Yeah, well done.
Here we are with Tipster of the Month Media for July. And on top, Paul Kelly, we touched on before, super stuff. We also touched on the Ginger Wizard dominating proceedings again. But in third there, Ben Azagari.
Yeah, Ben from racing.com. Yeah, the Persian Prince, they call him. Look, 3 weeks in a row, he made a profit, which brings you on this leaderboard. Most times they're not.
Absolutely.
And 47% is a good number to get. So well done, Ben.
Yeah, from the Persian Prince to the Italian Stallion, Luke Hovannessian, dominating proceedings at the Great Tipoff. Not only is he dominating the Crow's Nest office, But he's dominating the tipsters. Bookies are copping an absolute shellacking, and we've all heard about it. 25% profit on turnover. 125 tips, phenomenal. Well done. He's also standing behind the camera now. He can't wipe the smile off his face.
I tell you what, I was busy on Saturday and actually didn't have much of a bet, but all I saw was social media going nuts over this Luke guy. So yeah, he did well. Very good analyst. He has steered me in a few winners. I'd tell you what, I'd go to the site, put in Luke space Hov. I think that's all you've got to put in.
Yeah, away you go.
You might struggle with the rest. It's one of those interesting names like DeGuara. So yeah, put that in, follow Luke, and you could do a lot worse, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you're doing a fair income injustice. If you sign up to the greattipoff.com and you're not following Luke, you pull your head in. In fifth there, Steve Christie from Sky.
He just keeps popping up on these leaderboards.
Won't go around like a bad smell.
He's going well. So if you're punting in New Zealand, why wouldn't you come to the site, Steve Christie? You can follow him, it'll give you a tip alert. He is a gun.
Yeah.
He is a dead set gun. So probably another example like those WA punters. Small amount of horses, only a few tracks, knows it like the back of his hand, wins.
Speaking of which, WA punters, we had Bragwell Racing, which is another great punter to follow, tipster to follow on the site. We had him on SEN the other day with Gareth and did a great interview. So I hope to pick up one of these guys from the punters leaderboard and get them on the show soon. But that was great, another great way to sort of get your name out there. So
yeah, good one, man.
Make sure you check that one out, punters.
Yeah, good. And that's the media leaderboard. All right, punters, we're back here with Tipster. This is the bit where you get free tips. Gotta love it, man. Free tips.
Hopefully we fill up.
Yeah, hey, the ones we've got coming now, you will, well, I can't guarantee you'll fill
Gamble
up.
responsibly, 1-800-858-858.
There we go. You'll do better than you would, I reckon, if you didn't follow. Right, is that right? Anyhow, so
good.
First up, Brodie Nickson, he was the host when I was crook earlier in the year.
Former co-host.
Yeah, I had to put a pitch to the board to get my job back after him. Thanks very much, Brody.
It was rejected, but somehow he's still here.
But I tell you how good this guy is. Apart from having a ripper month, I remember when we were doing a broadcast out there on Everest Day, Mick, and Brody did. He gave his tip. I think it was one of the earlier races. Not only did it win, but he absolutely called the race to perfect. Like he absolutely called it to a T.
Paid about $16 as well.
Paid $16. Told you why it was going to win. Told you how the race was going to run. Bingo. He keeps doing it. His tip's coming up.
And he's one of the great stars like Nick Burney, Lewis Willoughby, and Brodie Nickson. They're all dominating those boys. So yeah, it's good to see. Let's see what he's got.
Let's see what he's got.
Hi guys, my name is Brody. Thank you to the group at the Great Tipoff for having me this morning, and really looking forward to a big spring ahead. In regards to how I do form, I look for trialers that have come back sharp improve. I think that's a way I can beat the market in regards to a couple of horses that the traders might have pegged to a certain grade following their last campaign's numbers, and if they come back sharply improved and they've come back much better horses, I think betting early there's a way to beat the traders there. And also subsequently finding horses that don't be trialling as well, I think there's a good way to beat the market, in fact bet around them and spec a few horses at a big price. In regards to this weekend, I think there's one of those horses exactly we can bet coming up in the Missile Stakes at Rose Hill. Race number 8, horse number 11, quite keen on I Am Me. Now, her trials last campaign was great. She worked through the grades before tackling a Group 1 at the end of the preparation. I think she's come back in sensational order. A couple of really strong trials, especially the latest, beating home Extremely Lucky, who might just be an Everest sprinter for Chris Waller if he stamps up to his best potentials. And I Am Me, the big thing for me, is she can take a sit, should be able to stalk the speed there. Big Parade's going to go hard up front off just about 2 years off the scene. He's had 3 trials. He's going to have the fitness base, but hopefully I Am Me can get over the top. Cheers.
Okay, punters, we've also got, for those punters who specifically like Morphettville, you're going to like this guy as well. Zak Trussell, you'll see him on our articles that come up for Saturday racing. Very talented form analyst, has held in high regard across the industry. This guy really is a rising star, and guess what? He went super in July, and he's got his early mail for Saturday for you now.
G'day guys, Zak Trussell here. For those that don't know me, I'm a form analyst that focuses on the South Australian racing market. I've been doing form for a few years now. Also have experience doing some form and horse placement with some local trainers here. How I do form is the first thing I do for each race meet is to set up the track conditions, how I think the track's going to play, obviously based off rail movements, whether we're running on a good 4 or a heavy 10, wind direction and strength of the wind to indicate whether it's going to suit front runners or back markers. And then also look at the historical data for that race track over the last few meets. For each race, I'll set up a speed map first. I'll then go through each horse one by one, go through their old race replays, check the notes from previous races. That's all stored in my database. Also, we'll have the strength of each race it's come out of. Then from there, as like most people, I'll go through whether they're coming up or down in grade, how well they've run, the form out of each race, weight swings, jockey changes, gear changes and whatnot. And I like to back a horse that I know is mapping really well. It's going to get a nice running transit, not going to have many issues getting clear galloping room when needed, and is ready to run a peak race. On Saturday, my best bet comes up in race 5 at Murray Bridge, number 4, a horse called Rodeo. The key thing here is I think the current race fave at time of recording, Jean Valjean. It's down to race in Melbourne on Saturday, and I believe it's heading there. So Rodeo, last prep, had 3 really good runs to kick off its prep, but just couldn't win, just probably lacked that bit of fitness. Same thing on Saturday, it's 4th up now, running really well, keeps running into one better. And on Saturday, I think it can go one better again here and get the chocolates. Maps perfectly, just in behind the speed, and should get every chance. For the leading stable in South Australia, Richard and Chantal Jolly, Rodeo, race 5, number 4.
Well, there we go, punters. There is another Tipster show, but not finished yet. Some good stuff here, so don't turn off yet. Mick, Group 2 Missile Stakes on Saturday. That's when you start to see more and more group races as we get to the big ones. Here's your chance.
Yep.
Right? We can replay this and you can become a demigod in racing circles. You get this right. Give me 1 or 2 horses who are going to star in the spring of 2023.
There we go. Here we are. So, full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Luke sent me this across and he says, mate, can you come up with 3 or 4 horses for the spring?
There we go, 3 or 4. You should have one.
Luke, this stuff makes me sick to the core. I don't do this very well. So I let on my great mate Dean Watling.
Oh, Dino, under the bus.
And
Under the bus. But you
I had
know
a chat
what?
with him this morning.
If he's accurate, you'll claim it.
100% without a shadow of a doubt. We'll go 50-50. So I said, Dino, I've got to do this. I've got to do this thing.
It.
I love your work. You watch the trials. I don't. Let's have a chat and we can come together. We found Francesco Guardi. Didn't go to the Melbourne Cup last year. Was low flying. We'll be going there this year. We think it's going to have a huge spring preparation. He's come up one out wide. And this is why I've gone to Dean, because I wouldn't have found this for 100 years. Extremely lucky. Formerly with the Clarkin stable, now with Chris Waller, has been low flying in its trials.
Right.
Dino suggests there's could be a really, really good spring campaign in for it. And one horse that I have a lot of time for, and Dino pointed out as well, so I'll take some claim on this one, is Pericles. Trialled an absolute jet, but this is a horse I think is going to be a bigger, better, stronger prospect this time, and I think we'll be winning a couple of group races in the spring. Whether they're Group 1s or not, well, time will tell.
There we go. There's out in the limb there. You sort of owned those yourself a bit, so we did it together, so... they're Mick and Dean's...
Full disclosure, I'll throw it out there.
Yeah,
All 3 of them win a
that's
Group
good.
1 and Dino won all the wraps.
Yeah, there we go. That's great. Look, and of course, look out for All In. That'll be coming up very, very soon. You've got to
Yes.
subscribe to this channel. Hey, horses...
Monday the 14th, I believe, all in for
There we go.
Wing Stakes Day. So
Wing Stakes
might be
Day.
far away.
Yeah, I think
Look,
it
we
might
may
be
have
the week after that.
may have just dragged Louis back from Europe as well. We'll see what
I think
happens.
it might be the 20th because I'm out there that day. But anyhow...
Yes, but Damo, Monday. It's a Monday show,
it's
son.
a Monday show.
Don't mind him. We'll be fine.
That's it. So, of course, Horse's birthday this week. Saw lots of stuff you're seeing here right now on social media. Mick, got a question for you, right?
Hit
Let's
me.
say I have a horse that gets foaled on the 31st of July.
Yep.
It's on the 1st of August, next day, it's 1-year-old.
Okay.
So when it starts as a 2-year-old, it could actually be a yearling,
Sure.
theoretically.
Sure.
Is that right?
Oh,
Is there
dunno.
any advice you give form analysts, though, in that circumstance? Do you need to look at the foal date as part of backing a 2-year-old analysis? Because surely if it's a year and a day old, surely they don't race them. But if it's not 2 years old. It's a bit young, isn't it?
You had me at hello.
It's just one I've always thought about, and I noticed on some form guys.
I was lost somewhere between the 31st and the 1st.
Yeah, well, they say the foal date. It's probably a reason why you want to look
I think
at
there's
it.
definitely. I think there's a northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere sort of theory that some of these their 3-year-olds come out here and they are at an advantage weights wise.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I'd have not a brass razoo, mate.
That's what I've always worried. I thought you might.
But maybe someone in the comments can chime in and
let us
alleviate
know.
your pain because
I thought I'd put you on the spot too.
No.
There was absolutely no planning on that question whatsoever, as you can see.
As you can see.
But hey, punters, thank you for your company. Remember, you should subscribe to this channel. You should come to the New Look GTO site. Hey, getting huge wraps. You'll see there's all these new features coming as well. It is the one resource. I mean, a great new feature coming up. I've got to keep it under wraps, but I think by next show it should be available.
Super.
But look, any tipster you can think of, come to the site, put their name in, follow them, or yourself. You think you're good enough?
Yeah.
$1,000 up for grab every month. You can get on the show, you can get on SEN. There's all sorts of incentives to show that you are better, and you can check yourself against all the big names on the leaderboard. They're all there.
About. We all love to compete. That's why we're tipping. That's why we're punting. And I tell you what, Damo was on the money. It is the 14th, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. You get the alert once the episode does drop. Thanks for your time, Damo. It's been good fun.
Good on you, mate. See you, punters. Have a good one.
Hooroo.